Hello, it's Simon here from Clear Vision. Welcome to my channel, the place where you can find lots of videos which discuss psychology and its uses within everyday life. So it's a practical application of psychology based on my experience as a psychotherapist with my clients and my students, etc. Today I wanted to discuss the idea that which is a very popular idea, that being on your own is the way forward. Being on your own brings you into being a whole person, a very self-sufficient person, therefore you're more suitable for a relationship. I'm not disagreeing with it. The way the message is put across often and the way people repeat the message, it becomes very rigid, as in this is the only way. A lot of us, however, aren't Zen monks, and so a lot of us have trauma and dysfunction, etc., things we need to work through, and at the same time we want to have healthy relationships. So this boils down to having a healthy relationship. This is what this is about. If you want to have a healthy relationship with somebody, you need to have a healthy relationship with yourself, and in order to have a healthy relationship with yourself, you need to be on your own. And therein lies the paradox. We are not solitary creatures. We're not solitary beings. We can do it, but we're not our best when we are doing it. We're not functioning at our best. We always need the other. So going right back to the moment we're born, in the relationship with mother, we begin to develop a sense of I and the environment, and this is promoted through the interactions with mother and then the father, and then extended beyond that as time moves on. So the infant learns I am I, you are you, that's the environment, etc., and the dyadic dance happens. Empathy is promoted, which promotes mirror neurons firing all over the place, and again that's a whole other set of videos. But so we need this interaction with the environment, and we need this connection throughout our lives. We need an empathic connection with the other. What we tend to do is we then tend to look for that empathic connection within a romantic partner. So this partner turns up with their baggage and dysfunction, and I turn up with my baggage and my dysfunction, and we're looking for an empathic connection, and we're looking for someone. Often where it goes wrong is we're looking for someone to fulfill our needs, someone to fulfill our emptiness, someone to fill in the bits of life experience that we didn't get. It's not always about what happened to you. This is really important. Often people go on about, you know, my mother did this, my father did that, my you know, so and so this, my childhood was like this. The clue is in what you didn't get. That's the important bit. So you can have a neglectful parent, you can have an abusive parent, you can have an unloving parent. What didn't you get? You didn't get safety, security, love, empathy. You didn't get that environmental bounce back. And that's the important thing, because that's often then what you go searching for. It's what you didn't get that you go searching for. And this is really important. So to break this ideal down of being by yourself in order to become a fully functioning person, often people bounce from relationship to relationship. They don't give themselves much time in between. What can happen in those scenarios is we take the baggage from previous relationships into the new relationship. The new partner has no idea what the hell you're bringing with them. They're probably bringing a whole load of stuff with them as well, and it's all one big mess and one big train wreck, and someone doesn't fulfill the other one's needs, and it all comes crashing down around the both of them. And we then tend to say, that's dysfunctional, you guys, or you need to be on your own, you need to be on your own and go and heal, etc. But nobody really explains what that means. What does it mean to heal? Well, that means looking at your demons, that means looking at your dysfunctions. That means looking at what you didn't get. That means looking at what you're looking for. What is it that you want? And you find these things out through your reactions to your romantic partners, your reactions to family members, your expectations, your wants, your needs, whether they're met or not, whether you even know what they are. And this can all happen within a relationship, and then that crashes, and then we do it again, and then we do it again, and we say, oh, you keep repeating the same mistakes. I keep falling for the same man, I keep falling for the same woman, etc. So there's this period of time which is recommended where you're on your own, where you have to do the work. Now, this only gets you so far, and this is in my personal experience and my experience with clients. It only gets you so far. I've had clients and close friends who've spent, come out of long-term relationships, had traumatic, painful separations, betrayals, sex, lies and videotape, all of that kind of stuff. And they decide to be on their own. And they set maybe a time on it, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, never again, but we'll go with the time limit. And what they often come back and say is, after I spent all that time by myself, I then entered into a relationship thinking I was ready for this relationship, and all this stuff started up again. What's going on? Well, what's going on here, one school of thought, is that you need the environment, so you can do all the work you can on yourself, but once you're back into a loving relationship where there's vulnerability, where there are emotions, where there's tensions, where someone else's needs are important, where they're not able to know what yours are, and everybody's trying to learn everybody's love language, if you like, and trying to feel their way through the relationship. Now all the old triggers are going to get pulled. Now all the old defenses are going to come back, and you could look at it, it's a test from the universe, it's whatever, but it's because you can do all of this work by yourself, but you then need to go back into an environment where these things are pushed and pressured to do that final piece of work, to really to really improve yourself, to work on yourself. And it's a lifelong journey, or that's my belief anyway. So you need that relationship. Now, does that mean that we're never healed and therefore we never should be in a relationship? No. Does that mean that because there's another kind of popular way of being, is that this relationship is dysfunctional, you're both dysfunctional, therefore it's not going to work. And I haven't found that always to be the case either. If both people in the relationship are willing to work on themselves, and both people in the relationship are willing to support each other through working through themselves, and this is a fine line, not take the responsibility away from the other, not babysit the other, not completely accommodate the other and all of their triggers and quirks and all the rest of it, but actually support each other with the really, really hard stuff. And this involves communication, I statements, honesty with self, honesty with each other. And that puts the final piece of the puzzle together, and those relationships become long-term relationships, and they become successful relationships. Again, it's like a long-term relationship doesn't necessarily mean a healthy relationship. Being on your own doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do the work and you're fine for a relationship when you come out the other end of it. Being in a relationship doesn't mean you're going to successfully rebuild yourself because you have the support of the other. All these things have to kind of collide and gel together in order for an individual to grow, heal, transcend, and integrate previous traumas, traumas and grief and losses, and integrate all these fears, expectations, and be able to work through them. So, bottom line, it's a good idea to be by yourself, yes, and learn to be by yourself. If you can look after yourself, if you can learn to love yourself, if you can learn to heal yourself, if you can learn to respect yourself, you're cracking it, you're doing it. And that makes you, first of all, a better potential partner for someone, because you've, excuse my language, but you've got your shit together, and hopefully they've got their shit together as well. And then within the relationship, as things come along, as disagreements over boundaries come along, as the relationship progresses and develops, and old wounds are opened up and old scars, and this feels a bit familiar, and we're going through a rough patch, and this is happening and that's happening. You can work together through it, could support each other through your own growth and transcendence of your previous traumas and attachment styles, or however you want to put it. So it needs to be a mix of being on your own and then being in a relationship. You still need that environment and you need that bounce back, and the support's nice as well. So I hope that helps, and if you like what you heard, or you want me to discuss something else or share something else with you, please feel free to message or like and subscribe below. Have a good day. Take care of yourselves.